the huge miss in payrolls, the unemployment rate tumbled from 7% to 6.7%. I mean, this is almost like a comedy show now with the unemployment numbers that come out. Knowing, remember, that prior to Obama's re-election campaign, we have the Obama numbers or the unemployment numbers, fall below, I think it was 8% at the time. The guy who used to run GE, I forgot his name right now, comes out and says, well, those numbers, I mean, this is the Chicago gang mafia that's rigging the numbers, and there's this huge outcry over it. Well, come to find out, the people that run the Bureau of Labor Statistics were actually Obama supporters. It's like the guy doing the IRS investigation. He's an Obama supporter. He contributed to the Obama campaign. Okay, this is insanity at its best. But here's the biggest shocker. The reason is that in December, the civilian labor force did what it usually does in the new normal. It dropped from 155.3 million to 154.9 million. Get ready, get ready. The new labor participation rate dropped to a 35-year low. In fact, 92 million Americans are out of the labor force. So the unemployment rate isn't going down because Obama or the New World Order's central banking policies are so wonderful. They're going lower because there's no jobs. People are just giving up. They're like, well, crap, I can't get a job. Might as well just opt out of the labor force. But what are they opting into, which this kind of doesn't talk about, but we kind of already know? They're opting into the new flood of entitlements. Obama's promise zones that he rolls out yesterday. More entitlements because, ladies and gentlemen, what they want more than anything, more than, basically brainwashing your children at the new re-education camps via Common Core, which are also known as public schools, more than all the data and mining all your data, more than your pension fund, what they want is Americans and humanity to be a slave worker drone, a slave to their system, fully dependent on their system. That's when they pull the plug, then everyone's like running to the daddy to, basically continue to get their free stuff, and then the government can control with the free stuff. Free stuff doesn't come for free. It comes in exchange for your liberty, and that's what they're hoping. So those 92 million Americans, I wish I could say maybe 10% of them, 20% of them are opting into the entrepreneur paradigm, but it's sadly likely not the case. Let me hit you with some other facts, because you remember the whole, war on the women thing? Yeah, well, under the Obama economy, and again, if you're just joining me, both parties are an absolute fraud and scam. Republicans and Democrats, there's no real fundamental difference. The only difference you may see at times is in the rhetoric. For the exception of a few Republicans like Rand Paul and Ted Cruz, and a few others like Walter Jones, and even some on the Democrat side that are really being truthful about what's happening, most of them are criminals committing open acts of treason that should be in jail. And when we have new Nuremberg trials, hopefully we will be able to put these people in jail for what they've done to the Republic. Whole nother video, whole nother point. Let me just say, record number of women are also not in the labor force. These are just the headlines from Drudge. Growth slumps, slowest in 3 years. 1,500 people line up for a chance to apply for one job. In fact, I read a story, I think a week or two ago, that like 2,500 people showed up for 20-something jobs that were available at this ice cream factory. And the only statistic you really need to know is that in the last year, 75 or 74% of every new job created has been a part-time job. This is what globalization does, ladies and gentlemen. And if you watched my video a couple days back about the world reserve currency, the global economic reset, how that all functions and how it's all working, like a vulture that feeds on the carcass of a dying animal and picks it completely clean. That's what the authoritarian New World Order did in England. Then they transitioned over to America. It doesn't mean that they don't continue to operate from London, where they run their big derivative debt rehypothecation Ponzi scheme. Of course, that's the headquarters for all that. But overall, they continue to move into new, growing, larger economies. They did it with England in the in the 1800s and the 1900s. Then America, or should I say, the 19th century. Then America in the 20th century. In my opinion, it's China in the 21st century. And it is so fundamentally clear that all of the policies, both on the right and the left, that try to stimulate economies, it's all a complete scam. So let me end this video with this. I am a 100% firm believer that anybody within the sound of my voice can not only opt out of this insane nightmare system where they want to, make you basically a slave, but that you can actually achieve a much better lifestyle being an entrepreneur that focuses on what you love to do. Focusing on what you love to do and making your career centered around what you love to do. And I know for some people that have been brainwashed their whole life to go to school and get a good job, that sounds like crazy talk. I got to tell you, I get these idiots that comment sometimes. And I mean, it's like probably less than 1% of the total subscribers. But I get these idiots that comment about, somehow that me having an educational program and teaching people real estate investing, or me speaking at a private conference and giving information about the global economic reset, or having events that people walk away and they're so thankful and they're thanking me for the info that I'm giving them, and then I get the dozens of emails that I get, on almost a daily basis, people thanking me for how my program changed their life. Point is, it's not about me. Point is that you can do the same thing, because the fact is that what you love to do, regardless of what it is, as I said many times on my podcast, on these videos, what you love to do, there are millions of people out there that love to do it as well. And there are people in every single niche, or whatever it is that you love to do, that are making the career, either delivering a service to that group of people, or providing a product, or whatever it may be, educating people on that niche. And I think that's the way you opt out of this. I mean, is it perfect? Is it going to be perfect? Of course not. There's nothing that's perfect. But I can tell you what's really not perfect is the U.S. economy right now. And unless we have, like I said earlier, new Nuremberg trials where we fundamentally restructure this economy based on true free market principles, not the crony capitalist where only the 1% of 1% can continue to acquire massive wealth, like Bill Gates goes from $15 billion in wealth last year to $75 billion in wealth last year. Or Warren Buffett and all these other financial terrorists that are able to, basically work the system in their favor. That's not real capitalism, ladies and gentlemen. That is absolute crony fascistic capitalism is what we have here today in America. And I would say that while the window is still open, that you take real account and a real inventory. If you're somebody who's struggling to get a job, if you're somebody who's dependent on this system, if you're someone dependent on the pension system, whatever it may be, your world is about to be fundamentally rocked. And it's about to fundamentally change as well. In an event that I've called the Global Economic Reset. In fact, I'm researching and working on the book about that subject right now. And I got to tell you, the more research that my team and I do, the more chills that I have, the hair on the back of my neck stands up because it is so abundantly clear. And I've been on record knowing, because I know, and you can see the links below, we'll share that info with you, about how the people at the very top already know the global economic reset is underway. It's being negotiated. They already know. Okay? And again, it's not even, don't take my word for it. Just look at the overwhelming abundance of evidence. But again, bottom line is that the New World Order's Obama economy is an absolute disaster. And they would rather keep you focused on Chris Christie and him shutting down 2 lanes of traffic when we know Chris Christie's a mafioso. We know political retribution happens all the time. But let me ask you this. What's bigger on that scale? Chris Christie causing a traffic jam, or Obama and his authoritarian Gestapo gang using the IRS as a bully pulpit to go after the conservative movement, libertarians, Tea Partiers, Ron Paul supporters, Second Amendment owners, people that are against the illegal war system? What's more dangerous and more of a threat to the Republic? Love to hear what you have to say. I'm Fabian for Liberty. Thanks for watching. I'm out.